Hey, how's it going? This is Nuby,
This is Kym.
and we are here with the lovely CharisJones.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
We are like just ecstatic to have you here.
Oh,
We're
neat.
excited.
Thank
We're
you so
glad.
much.
We know that time was supposed to be earlier, but got pushed back. No problem with that because
But it worked out.
Everything worked out. Everything worked out. That's a good thing.
Want to do it? Yeah. Absolutely.
So, CharisJones, you probably are wondering, some of you, a lot of you probably already know who she is, but some of you probably
You
wonder,
better know who she is.
who is CharisJones? Who is she? Where did she come from?
That's a good question. I sometimes ask myself the same thing. Who are you, girl? And what is you doing with your life? Okay, continue. I feel like I'm supposed to be on the couch somewhere. Okay.
Well, let's start this off.
All right.
For one, she's a phenomenal woman,
Oh, well, thank you.
and you're very independent. And
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And from what I know, JC1VOICE
Yeah,
Entertainment.
entertainment.
You're not only the CEO, but you're the founder as well.
Correct, I am.
Tell us about that.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for having this platform for independent artists such as myself to be able to speak out. I think it's amazing that you guys give an introduction into what it's like being an independent artist. It's not as glamorous as it appears to be on Facebook and all the other social media platforms. But JC1 Voice was something I created to kind of bridge the gap and protect me as an independent artist, because I think what happens is if you don't kind of have something that's pushing you, a force is pushing you, then it's kind of, you're just left out. And so a lot of times when you're trying to promote yourself, it doesn't have the same like vigor and robust kind of backing if you're just, oh, I'm just Charis and I sing, you know. Whereas if you have JC1VOICE Entertainment, I learned through Philadelphia Lawyers of the Arts how to protect myself legally. And so that's how I ensured that, although it took me 5 years to put my album out, my original EP out, I owe all the rights to the album. And also, it kind of really is important, because if you think about all the people that you have to pay, and by the time, you know, your song gets played or what have you, or you're trying to build that rapport of people getting to know who you are, you have no money. And so being an independent artist, there is a struggle with that financially. And so that's also kind of why is that toss-up in terms of having to work to support the dream. I most certainly tried to say I'm done with my directorship when I was 28 and I'm going to sing full-time, but life happened. You know, thank God I do have a mortgage and that has to get paid, and luckily I do have degrees, and so I had to fall back on my degrees to ensure that I could bridge that gap. And by having only the rights to my music, I was then able to employ and meet other producers and other musicians that believed in me. And I think that's what's most important. And my whole hope is that I give other independent artists the truth about what really happens and not what looks good, because I think with anything, it always looks good when you're made up. But it's the times where you're in the studio, you don't have a lot of money, and you're trying to get something down, and you're just confused about, you're thinking in your head, man, I gotta get this song done, but I don't have enough money to get it done, but I want people to hear me. And then you have to think about the timing of when you release everything. And so I think the blessing that has been for me was I did very, very well in Philadelphia, where I went to school, and then I came back home, and it was kind of like, Reese, girl, I know you sang in the choir, but I didn't really take you seriously. And so what kind of saved me was my product and how the CD looked, how it was produced, how it was available, and the packaging behind that. And I don't think if I had that instruction from Philadelphia Lawyers for the Arts, or that they told me this is how you protect yourself, Charis, to have a LLC to ensure that nobody can, if something happens, nobody can sue you directly and you lose all your assets. So I think the business side is what people kind of forget about the music industry, is that it's a business. And so you have to have some savviness, and yeah, so that's why I created that. And my prayer is that hopefully in the future there'll be other artists that fall underneath that. But right now I'm using myself as a springboard to kind of keep pushing the path so others can come behind me.
And we do know it's a struggle for independent artists, but is it more difficult for female independent artists?
Oh wow, Kym. Now, granted, you just wrote this article, right? And so I was trying to read it really quickly, so you clearly are the me in this situation right now. So thank you so much for putting me on my head. Well, I think it can be difficult for male and women, right? I don't think that one sex has it better than the other, especially right now, because with social media, it's now contingent upon how many people know who you are, if they like you, and that part of it can be a blessing and sometimes annoying a little bit. Like, you may say to yourself, man, I know this song is hot, I put this song out, and people hear it, they like it when they hear about it, but they don't really know anything. So then you're like, man, what do I need to do? I think for me, I wanted to kind of still have an opportunity for young women to look at me as some type of role model, and not do it when I'm already up here and I've done all this other stuff, and then I have to clean up who I really am. So being that I'm like a Taurus, I'm very kind of open and honest in general. That has been a benefit and a detriment at times, but I'm learning to just keep being myself and not have anyone try to change me or conform who they think I should be in some kind of box. Because I think for women, it's always difficult because there's a tendency for people to assume, well, that person or she will do anything to get her record made. And that's why I took the business savvy component, because I didn't want to have a conversation about, well, I did this for Charis. Wait, pause.
Right.
Hopefully your name won't be in my mouth because you think you did something for me on the pretense that I was going to return a special favor. And I think that's where women kind of get caught up a lot, is because they aren't strong enough to say no, or either stop the conversations that are easy to come up when you're an independent artist. And I think that's just something that I think women go through. Now, men, I think you got to have talent and you have to have the money and people backing you. Otherwise, you're not going to do well. Women, they have looks. So a lot of people talk about, well, this person can't sing as well, but they have that look. And so I think it's about having that total package. And I know I was given that opportunity when I was on ABC 7 and Channel 8, when I had the interview for them to showcase my education, which oftentimes doesn't happen. So I knew that was a blessing, because first of all, the segment was somewhere around like 9 minutes and 20 seconds, and it was only scheduled for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and they allowed you to hear more about myself versus just solely my music. And I know there are plenty of artists that are well known beyond me that they still come on and it's 2 minutes and a half, and they're just talking about the album coming out and that's it. So my goal is that people recognize that I'm not just only the singer, that my hands are involved. And I think that's the benefit of being a woman, because there's a possibility that you have the ability to be multifaceted and to know everything that's going on. Right? I haven't got to this point yet, but Oprah most certainly said you should always oversee the checks that are being written on your behalf, because there's always taxes that have to be due, and you gotta be cognizant of all of that, and the expenses, and being that I have the JC1VOICE, it allows me to write off the losses. So, my album took 5 years. That's a loss, and you pray that it comes back out, and so that's why I named it Introducing Miss Jones. And so, I've introduced myself, and now it's time to narrow into who Charis actually is.
So you have a mixtape this month?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, awesome song. So, people, most certainly. People were asking, like, what's going on with you, Charis? What are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just trying to work on some things, get things taken care of. And I think along the way, the process of last year, I just came up with this idea of IAG, which stands for Independent Artist Goals. And those goals are things that maybe mainstream artists appreciate in the beginning, but they kind of fade away, but our bread and butter are how we kind of matriculate into being what we are. So for example, gaining a new fan is a big independent artist goal. I cherish everyone. I'm always flabbergasted about when somebody listens to my song and they're like, oh, Charis, I really like this. Really? I mean, I'm just kind of surprised in a good way, because I recognize there's so much music available to the ear that they actually decide to say, no, I really like it. It makes a huge difference for me. So as independent artists, there's a lot of things that matter. Who you are, getting people to want to interview you is a big deal. Being on internet radio is a major blessing, and I've had the opportunity to be on a lot of radio. That's where we met.
That's when we met on Richard Glaber's Bliss.
Yes. The seller
right there.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so those are the things that are really important. And then trying to have the PR, because you're no one unless somebody else at this point validates you in your career. And so somebody else has to be the person to say that you're great. You can't, and it's very humbling because you can say, I know I have it, but if no one else thinks you have it, if there's not like an inkling or a minuscule amount of people that say like, yo, Charis, I like what you did there, you really can sing, then it kind of doesn't go anywhere, because you have to then push yourself even more, and it takes longer. And if you look at anybody like Jill Scott or Music Soul Child, they all will tell you it took them years to get to the point that you all kind of got to know them now, like just to hear their voice and you automatically know it's them, or to have them as a household name. So I think
it's right now, like
yeah, I fake thought that and realized it wasn't. Yeah, so I mean, everybody gets their own little rude awakening, and I kind of got over it. And so I think the best thing about being an independent artist is that you can create yourself, and if it doesn't work, reinvent the wheel. And so this mixtape is my opportunity to say, yes, Introducing Miss Jones came out, it was an EP, it showcased my variety of what I can do. Now I'm narrowing in and saying this is what I'm capable of doing, so that I can be booked in other locations that are not just solely jazz clubs, because I don't want to be pigeonholed in that. And so that brings me to the idea that, you know, the blessing is that this year, I've been saying I wanted to go overseas, and I've been saying I wanted to do it, but I didn't have maybe the timing or the right people around to kind of say, Charis, yes, we can do this, and this is how we're going to do it. So I'm very glad that in 2017, I will be able to have a tour overseas. It's only a month tour, but it's something to start. And I realized, thank you, I realized that going out of where your comfort zone is and what people know you as, because I think there's a tendency for people to not take you as seriously. I don't want to say take for granted, because that has a negative connotation. But when you go out and people say, I like this sound, I want this, and then you come back in, it's easier to navigate a lot of the red tape that is presented to independent artists. And so that's why this mixtape is 5 songs. It's called Independent Artist Goals. And I may be talking about, you know, different things independent artists go through. I will never forget, one of the things was I wanted to try to get on the show or what have you, and the idea was, Charis, somebody has to tell me that they want to hear about you in order to have you on the show. And then I said, okay, well, I have the package, I have my album, you know, why don't you give me a chance? And the idea was like, well, I'm not going to make any money off of you, so I'm not going to do that. And it was funny, it was heartbreaking, because it's kind of like, why don't you give me the opportunity? I know if you give me the opportunity, I can do it. And I think that's the biggest thing with independent artists, is somebody giving you the opportunity. And I realized that if I would have had that opportunity when I wanted it, I wouldn't have been as successful as things in the momentum that's coming along, how things are progressing right now. But those are things in the back of your mind that you say to yourself, I will never have to deal with that again. Or if it comes to time, you just tell yourself like, okay, well, there's gonna come a time when they're gonna call me, and I have to take a decision. Am I gonna be humble enough to say, how you doing, and take the interview, or be petty, which I'm still praying on, you know, and be like, nah, I'm good on that.
In all honesty.
Right.
We good.
Right, we good. But I think the biggest thing about being an independent artist is that you don't forget the people who have come to you and you met on humble ground, and you look out for them as well, and you support one another. I think that's the biggest thing about being an independent artist, is supporting others, and realizing that the competition, I'm not trying to be in competition with you. You know, I just don't. I got enough things that I'm trying to work on myself, that I'm in competition with myself in terms of trying to be a better me. Like, I'm trying to sing rap. That's not what I'm used to, but that's the sound that is out here, and I have to show my versatility because I don't want to get stuck. So that's just me, you know, I'm done. Right.